Okay, hello. Now this is a new computer, so this is actually the first video I've made using the webcam on here. So apologies if the quality isn't the best. Do let me know in any comments down below, and if so, for future videos I'll use my phone because the camera on there is quite good. Anyway, this video is kind of a response to a video I just watched about 5 minutes ago that was recorded by an old dear friend of mine whose name is Adrian. You know who you are, buddy, and you've done a beautiful old East Lothian folk story which I very much enjoyed hearing you read, and it inspired me to do one of my own, and I'll try and get it done within 5 minutes, so I'm not keeping you guys for too long because I know you'll be very busy indeed being in lockdown and all that just now. So I'm going to read from one of my favourite teachers and authors, Thich Nhat Hanh, and he's written a book. This one was published quite a number of years ago now. It's the life story of the Buddha, called Old Path, White Clouds, and I'm just going to read you from chapter 17. It's called Pipala Leaf. Beneath the Pipala tree, the hermit Gautama focused all of his formidable powers of concentration to look deeply at his body. He saw that each cell of his body was like a drop of water in an endlessly flowing river of birth, existence, and death, and he could not find anything in the body that remained unchanged or that could be said to contain a separate self. Intermingled with the river of his body was the river of feelings, in which every feeling was a drop of water. These drops also jostled with one another in a process of birth, existence, and death. Some feelings were pleasant, some unpleasant, some neutral, but all of his feelings were impermanent. They appeared and disappeared just like the cells of his body. With his great concentration, Gautama next explored the river of perceptions, which flowed alongside the rivers of body and feelings. The drops in the river of perceptions intermingled and influenced each other in their process of birth, existence, and death. If one's perceptions were accurate, reality revealed itself with ease. But if one's perceptions were erroneous, reality was veiled. People were caught in endless suffering because of their erroneous perceptions. They believed that which is impermanent is permanent. That which is without self contains self. That which has no birth and death has birth and death. And they divided that which is inseparable into two parts. Gautama next shone his awareness on the mental states that were the sources of suffering: fear, anger, hatred, arrogance, jealousy, greed, and ignorance. Mindful awareness blazed in him like a bright sun, and he used that sun of awareness to illuminate the nature of all these negative mental states. He saw that they all arose due to ignorance. They were the opposite of mindfulness. They were darkness. They were the absence of light. He saw that the key to liberation would be to break through ignorance and to enter deeply into the heart of reality and attain a direct experience of it. Such knowledge would not be the knowledge of the intellect, but of direct experience. In the past, Siddhartha had looked for ways to vanquish fear, anger, and greed, but the methods he had used had not borne fruit because they were only attempts to suppress such feelings and emotions. Siddhartha now understood that their cause was ignorance, and that when one was liberated from ignorance, mental obstructions would vanish on their own, like shadows fleeing before the rising sun. Siddhartha's insight was the fruit of his deep concentration. He smiled, and he looked up at a pipala leaf imprinted against the blue sky, its tail blowing back and forth as if calling him. Looking deeply at the leaf, he saw clearly the presence of the sun and stars. Without the sun, without light and warmth, the leaf could not exist. This was like this because that was like that. He also saw in the leaf the presence of clouds. Without clouds there could be no rain, and without rain the leaf could not be. He saw the earth, time, space, and mind all were present in the leaf. In fact, at that very moment, the entire universe existed in that leaf. The reality of the leaf was a wondrous miracle. Though we ordinarily think that a leaf is born in the springtime, Gautama could see that it had been there for a long, long time, in the sunlight, the clouds, the tree, and in himself. Seeing that the leaf had never been born, he could see that he too had never been born. Both the leaf and he himself had simply manifested. They had never been born and were incapable of ever dying. With this insight, ideas of birth and death, appearance and disappearance dissolved, and the true face of the leaf and his own true face revealed themselves. He could see that the presence of any one phenomenon made possible the existence of all other phenomena. One included all, and all were contained in one. So there you are, guys. I'm going to leave that at that for today, and I hope that that gives you all something to just ponder on. It was very rich yet very simple teachings that have been handed down to us generation after generation from the Buddha. Take care. My blessings. See you soon.